Hello everyone, this is Shane from AmazingOutdoorAdventures.com, and today we're just going to do a real quick informational video on a subject that's pretty dear to my heart from the days in the Alaska wilderness, and that's pretty much everything you need to know about bear spray. Number one reason right off the bat that this is important is, just as the slide shows, this is not the type of situation you want to run into unprepared. And while there are plenty of opinions on, is bear spray the best? Shouldn't I be carrying a gun? What type of gun should I be carrying? There's a lot of questions and a lot of misconceptions about the best way to defend yourself. So going with that overall assumption that bears are usually more scared of you than you are of them, and that is true, you still need to be prepared for those worst case scenarios. So let's talk a little bit about bear spray, why I'm a big fan of it, and why I never went on an Alaska hiking trail without a can by my side. So straight up, why bear spray? Tested over and over, this is the single most effective deterrent for over-curious or over-aggressive bears. There's a link there to a study which we'll also put in the description. It was done by BYU. This was based on the discovery that basic pepper spray for dogs was a great deterrent to bears. And that was before they upped it up to these modern ones, which are way, way stronger. Consistently, in real-life situations, bear spray outperforms firearms in stopping a bear attack. They outperform firearms in escaping a charge without harm. And in addition to that, it's legal in most national parks, especially the ones that tend to have a larger bear population. Additional bonus, you can't accidentally kill yourself or others. Because you are liable in an emergency situation if that happens, not to mention just the guilt. So obviously the exploding bear spray can story. So this is an example, again, of why I'm a big fan of bear spray. A friend of mine who, his job was literally to go into these advanced camps in Alaska, middle of nowhere, where they would then search the area and do that high intense geology that the scientific people get paid for to look for gold and oil and other resources. They do that with advanced teams. In this case, he said right off the bat, he knew it was a bad employer. He knew it was one of those janky situations where it was shady from the start. And the can of bear spray he carried was 8 years past the expiration date. The can was dented, and he said right off the bat it looked like it had been tampered with. He carried it with him. Anyway, you have to have something, and that's what he was given while at camp. And then when he had a very close encounter with a very over-curious bear that was not going away, the can exploded on him. And I'm going to emphasize again, bear spray is safe, but this was his situation. 8 years past expiration. Based on other stories I heard, I almost guarantee that can was tampered with. It was dented. So all the red strikes. And so the can blew up in his hand. Big cloud. So he hits the ground coughing because he is having trouble breathing. And so did the bear. And he heard all kinds of sound as he was coughing. The bear took off running. And so he even laughs about it now, because he looks back and says, well, it was the worst case scenario, the way you should never use bear spray, and it still worked. He was easy prey at that point, and the bear went away instead. And a big reason for this simply is a bear's sense of smell is so far beyond what a person can imagine. Imagine taking mace straight to the face, and now take that times 20 or times 100. And that is how something like that can be so effective with a big bear. The sense of smell that makes them such a dangerous predator is what makes this so effective. So what do you need to know? There are actually only 4 bear sprays as of this recording that are actually EPA tested and approved. You have UDAP, you have Guard Alaska, you have Frontiersman, and you have Counter Assault. And so straight out, those are the only 4 you should be looking at. Because I don't know about you, but I do not want an untested pepper spray if I'm going someplace that has grizzlies. Just, it's a stupid idea. Straight out pro tip, not all of these cans, the same concept is the same, but they don't all draw the same way. I find the pins don't always pull as easily for one as the other. You really should buy more than one or one of each and really get familiar with it and get a sense of, okay, this is the one that's most comfortable, this is the one I could draw in an emergency. Because you don't want to have to think about that when the time comes. You want to be able to rely on muscle memory. So 2.0, straight out, proper use is critical. Do not spray this on you or others. This is not a bug spray. This is not a repellent. You don't empty it into the air when the bear is like 100 feet away. You don't want to spray it on your gear, because eventually, assuming you stay away from your gear long enough not to have the effect, it's going to then smell like pepper. So why? Straight out, learn the proper way to spray in the cloud. There are so many YouTube videos on this, and there are so many videos on the actual, on Amazon pages selling them, on the actual company websites. It's not hard to see how that's supposed to be done. Do practice getting comfortable with the holster and actually using the spray, and use it the way you would pepper spray or mace. In this case, you need to wait till there's a certain distance there, and you want to create a cloud about 20 feet in front of you. Since this is a spray, watch the wind. Very important. So UDAP advertised. Bottle generally looks like this. Comes with a little nice carrier. 30-foot spray range. Strongest formula allowed by the EPA. 7.9 fluid ounces. And as of this writing, very highly rated on Amazon, which actually all of these will be. Guard Alaska Bear Spray. Currently, longest shelf life of any bear spray at 4 years before you'd have to replace it. You get 9 ounces per can. And this is one I find fascinating. They advertise that there is 6 years of testing on every bear found in Alaska, which, when you're talking about the big grizzlies and the Kodiak grizzlies, that is impressive. I really wonder if they tested on polar bears as well, but you find them in Alaska, so if they at the cojones to test on a polar bear, frankly, good for them. That is pretty dang reassuring if it's still coming out shining. There's Frontiersman. Don't let the simple packaging on the front fool you. This is a very effective bear spray, and I did carry this for a while. In ideal conditions, you get around 35 feet of range. Has the maximum fog cloud delivery system, which is exactly what you want out of a bear spray. Again, EPA approved, and again, you can't argue with the good ratings. And finally, the other one is Counter Assault. Range, the 12 to 32 feet. Now, that might sound like a knock at first, but I actually like how they advertise that, because it's showing you what the range is in less than ideal conditions, when there might be a little bit of wind, a little bit of blowback, versus still conditions where everything works perfectly. And that is important to be aware of. Again, EPA approved. We're only reviewing the 4 at all. The interesting part about this is look up the backstory. It was developed by a hunter after he actually survived a vicious mauling. So that is motivation to get it right. And as for a common question as to why would I take a bear spray instead of a gun, from my time in Alaska, I frankly carried both. And the reason you might go bear spray instead of a gun is simply, one, if you're carrying a pistol, it may not be allowed everywhere. In Alaska, they have extremely liberal gun laws because they have to, because of the environment. But even then, there's only like 2 handguns, maybe 3. There's a lot of arguments over whether the Desert Eagle counts or not, but other than that, you're looking at a .357 Magnum and .44 Magnum. And if you're not a crack shot with those heavy-duty guns, good luck. And if you wound a bear and you don't kill it, it is just going to maul the heck out of you. It is the worst-case scenario. So a lot of times I would carry both because everything tells me the bear spray works. you carry the gun as kind of the just-in-case backup. But honestly, these studies are really clear. The real-world examples are clear. And, you see so many stories of professionals who miss 80% of their shots. Do you really want to assume, in the middle of a panic, in the middle of a life-or-death situation, that you're going to be able to make a lot of accurate shots and nothing goes wrong? It's not a great bet to make. And the bear spray just simply, it is the better odds-on favorite by far. So that is it. In about 6 minutes, that's everything you need to know about bear spray. We have included some links in the description to give you more information if you want the really in-depth breakdown of each. If you want to see the study, kind of look it up yourself, which we always encourage. We'd ask please like and subscribe for more great future outdoor content. We love delivering just the quick facts so you don't spend 2 days in Google looking for actual information. In addition to that, please check out our blog, AmazingOutdoorAdventures.com. And in addition to that, there'll be some links there you may find interesting related to this topic. And on top of that, we also include links directly to each of the 4 bear sprays in this video. So, once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to the video. Please like and subscribe, and we will talk to you later. Have some great fun outdoors.